космос, хімія та мозок, захопливі кар'єри науковиць в Україні та світі. І проводить розмову співзасновниця та партнерка INSCIENCE Анна Орєхова. Пані Анно, ми вам аплодуємо, запрошуємо на сцену. Будь ласка, Аню. Так, і, будь ласка, так, можете займати місця, пані Аню, і ви представите, так, будь ласка. Я вам дам свій.
Вітаю всіх ще раз. Хто підійшов трошки пізніше, мене звати Анна Орєхова, я співзасновниця та партнерка громадської організації INSCIENCE. Я лише ще раз попереджу, що ця панель буде англійською, тому якщо комусь треба переклад, то, будь ласка, візьміть його. So, I'm so happy to welcome three brilliant scientists to this open talk. Katerina, who is a doctor in chemistry, neurobiologist Vіра Єфремова, and astrophysicist Mір'яна. So, firstly, I will give context why it is important for us to do this open talk. At INSCIENCE, we work with topic of gender equality in STEM since 2018, and this year we did complex research with think tank TEDOS and UN Women about career of women scientists, about motivations and barriers. And we will show now short 2 minutes video with the main results, and after we will discuss it. Yeah, could you please show the video? Right, we're waiting 2 minutes. I will see if everything fine. Okay, actually, if there are some technical issues, yeah? Katya, show me. It worked. Great.
У 2024 році жінки становили 49,7% усіх працівників наукових установ в Україні. Це більше, ніж у багатьох країнах Європи. Але чим вища кар'єрна сходинка, тим менше там жінок. Це лише один із прикладів гендерної нерівності в науці. Ми запитали науковиць та студенток у галузях STEM, з якими складнощами вони стикаються в роботі та навчанні. Онлайн-опитування, глибинні інтерв'ю, фокус-групи. Усе це лягло в основу дослідження. Результати показали, що 59% опитаних науковиць, які працювали в українських установах, задумувалися над тим, щоб полишити наукову кар'єру. А 68% опитаних студенток українських університетів та 75% науковиць стикалися з сексизмом, дискримінацією за гендерною ознакою або сексуальними домаганнями під час навчання. Кожна третя опитувана науковиця зазначала, що вже замислювалася або могла б замислитися про завершення наукової кар'єри через сімейні обставини, наприклад, народження дитини чи догляд за хворими родичами. Також серед складнощів, з якими стикаються науковиці: недостатня заробітна плата, велика кількість адміністративної роботи, незадовільна матеріально-технічна база, високий рівень стресу та професійне вигорання, невпевненість у майбутньому, нестабільний і несталий характер фінансування досліджень. Ми знаємо про проблеми. Що можна з цим зробити? Забезпечити гідну оплату праці та інвестувати в інфраструктуру наукових установ. Впроваджувати прозорі процедури підвищення та рівний розподіл адміністративної роботи. Сприяти рівному розподілу доглядової праці та створювати умови для відвідування місця роботи з дітьми. Протидіяти сексизму та дискримінації, як на рівні інституцій, так і в міжособистісній взаємодії. Створювати можливості для розвитку. Дослідження – це лише початок. Попереду – діалог та спільна робота для підтримки жінок у STEM.
Yeah, so as we saw in the frames of our research, among all the scientific workers, we have almost the great equality, 49% of women and 51% of men. And we have a joke that great gender equality exists, we can finish our project. But as we see, the higher career ladder is, the less women they are. And among academicians in Academia of Science of Ukraine, we have only 4% of women. That's why for us as INSCIENCE, it is important to hear the stories of scientists who have the brilliant career. And actually, my first question will be about your motivation, about this magic moment when you understood that you want to do science, you want to live your life with science. What it was, please share your stories. Yeah, Miriam can start.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. And it's really a pleasure to be here with all of you. Well, in my case, I can say that I was really interested about like science topics, subjects at school from the beginning, and I was having really teachers that really inspired me a lot, so I think that was really important. So I was born, I will share a little bit my story. So I was born in old Yugoslavia, and then when I was 7-8 years old, the civil war started in old Yugoslavia, and it lasted for 10 years. So when I was entering the university after the NATO bombing, I was already 18, 19 years old, you know. And I think I became an astronomer, so it was not like only one factor that was there. But, you know, when you are living in the situation where everything around us is quite difficult, for children and young people, in order to project dreams, project that we think about future and so on, we need a certain safe space. That safe space, in my case, was not at home. Also, as I said, the society was really quite, the conditions were hard. So the safe space for me was the night sky. So I was going out, and because during the war we had so many power cuts, so the whole city would get for days without power. So we had a beautiful night sky with all the stars and moon, and so that was the safe space where I was able to, during hours, contemplating, project my dreams, think about how the world is that I didn't know anything about. And then also to develop my curiosity, you know, like what are the stars, how far away they are. At that time, the internet was not there, the mobile phones were not there, so the only way to find out, to get information was through books or through our teachers, you know. So I think my journey to actually become a scientist and astrophysicist was really related with you know, the passion that I got through the teachers, the books that for me was a bit the way to escape from all the consequences of the war, violence that we were listening about every single day. And then that contemplation of the night sky that you know, awakened all the curiosity in me.
Thanks a lot. I remembered like our time of blackouts in Kiev. And like the only thing that was good about this, that in the center of the city we could see this beautiful night sky.
Funny enough, actually, my first moment when I realized that I want to be a scientist is also connected to a night sky. You actually have my dream job. I mean, I'm having my dream job, but my second dream job would be your job. So I'm a little jealous right now. Unfortunately, you can't do both at the same time. But as for me, I think I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8, and my mom and I were used to look at the stars constellation and she was trying to teach me how to identify some of them and so on. And my mom was trying to explain to me that basically the sky we're looking at any given moment does not exist in this exact way anymore. So basically you kind of like look in the past. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what? I think after that my mom regretted a little bit trying to explain it to me, because I was a very curious child, like very. And so I was like annoying her for days and weeks afterwards to try to understand, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean I look in the past? And then when the physics started in like 6th or 7th grade, she was finally like, now you can annoy someone else. So for me, that was the moment when I realized that science is absolutely amazing. And like, I knew that I want to do science since I was like 7 or 8 years old, but then I discovered brain and it intrigued me even more. So I knew that I want to be a scientist since I was very young, but I guess around 13, 14 years old, I decided that I want to study brain.
Thank you. And I will add just that when you first told me what you're doing with the cells that you're reprogramming for brain cells, it was blowing my mind. I was, oh my God, such profession exists. So cool in science. Thank you, Katerina.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Katerina Terebіленко. I'm a doctor of chemical sciences and I'm a professor at Department of Chemistry, Taras Shevchenko National University of Kiev. And I'd like to start with 3 facts I would like to share about myself. First of all, once I grown an emerald crystal by myself in laboratory. And this moment was the moment that science has taken my life for 100%. The second fact, I like to talk about fragrances. I can make fragrances by myself, and I can spend hours talking about modern ingredients in perfumery. And the third fact, cooking. I know a good recipe how to prepare chocolate Ukrainian dish, varenik with cottage cheese, and adorable thing. To start my talk about why I like science, I would like to start that I've never thought about science during my school years. That wasn't interesting for me. And when I entered university, I found out that there are people who are growing gemstone in laboratory environment, 1,000 degrees Celsius, all this equipment, and you can make jewelry for yourself, and it's not prohibited, it's not cost, it will take a fortune. So anyway, I begin my career at chemistry department, and I would like to share with you one thing that I like about chemistry the most. And this is how chemistry can combine ordinary things in a not simple way. I will show you a small experiment, absolutely safe. So I'm going to mix oil, ordinary oil, and just simple water, drink. You know, everybody knows that oil and water do not mix. But now I would like to add a third ingredient, simple baking soda, and I will change everything, and your expectation would be completely different. 1 second.
Dun, 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 dun. Intriguing. Wow. Okay. Simple oil as we use in kitchen. Great. Magic show, yes. This is a small part of Science Kids zone for adults. Okay. Okay. I will put it like this so everyone can see.
I will continue my speech. If you look closer, you will see some small bubbles, tiny bubbles inside the mixture. And all those bubbles are showing how we can change the reaction mixture just adding a third ingredient. And the magic is we can explain everything by chemistry. And the whole our life can be explained by chemistry. After my first years studying at chemistry department, I understood that all those crystals, this is a real science, and this is a real beauty, and you can be a part of it. And I'd like to share these ideas with you. And after first year studying at university, I understood that I can spend the whole my life doing such things. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, your example proves very much what Vira told and what we would like to say, that science is not something that is happening behind the closed doors, but it's really about everyday lives, some ingredients from our kitchen or some processes that is happening in our body. Thanks a lot. So, my second question will be about barriers, because we know that science is absolutely amazing. And we all fall in love with her. But often female scientists face different types of barriers, and we see it from statistics. Please share your stories. What hard moment was in your career and how you overcame it? Katerina, maybe you can start if we go another way.
The first achievement that I thought would be easier for scientists, and it was really difficult, it's to combine being a mother and being a scientist. Actually, it's quite important to stay in science. For every day, our reaction will change immediately. Sometimes it happens.
The volcano.
Nothing problematic, actually. It's baking soda, so not a problem. I will clean up. So, actually, I can't take my child with me to my laboratory. It's prohibited according to safety rules. And I had to find the place to stay my child and to fix all the problems with child. And it's impossible to do at chemical department. And after 2 years working with my colleagues, writing a lot of proposal projects, in 2024, our university opened the first room for mother and a child, where you can leave your child for an hour, 2 or 3. You can do your science, you can do your work, and then you are sure completely that your child is in a safe place and everything is okay. And it took more than 2 years to start this project. Our university is pretty old, and this room was entered only 2 years ago.
Very important we have this in our research and recommendations, to have at big universities some places where you can come, male and female scientists could come with their children. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Vira.
Thanks for sharing. I don't have kids. I only have a fur baby, a cat. But in terms of barriers, I think one that resonated with me when I was doing my bachelor and master's here in Kiev, in Taras Shevchenko. One of the barriers that also your people in the questionnaire said, it's about the salary, very low level of the salary, and it's just non-viable. Salary, but also financing your work, your lab work. I can share one kind of, now it's funny story. When I was doing my bachelor here, I was doing a part-time job in a sports shop as a sales assistant, and I still have, and we were dressed in, in like a sports uniform, and I still have a running shoes from that time, because they pretty in a good shape, still very impressive. It's over 10 years now. And whenever I doubt my decision to like stay in science, or I feel overwhelmed or burn out or whatever, I go for a run in those running shoes to remind myself that I chose science over and over and over again. It's a type of work that you have to keep choosing every day, because it's very demanding. It's very you have to be very responsible. You have to be very reliable, trustworthy, working under tons of stress and constant competition with yourself, with other people who work on the same thing. And so when I was studying during my bachelor time, I was working part-time there to buy some additional reagents to do a better final thesis work for my bachelor. So when I think about this now, it feels like it was in another life, but it reminds me that decision you make about science, you keep making the decision over and over and over again. So I think obviously daycare and everything that has to do with parenting or motherhood is extremely important. But I think second, after that comes the salary and financing your job. Yeah.
Vira, thank you. I just will shortly add that in the research we saw that like salaries really go to top, but on the second place why women thinking about leaving career, we have the parenthood and also work like connecting with the relatives who are ill or something like this in that sphere. So thank you a lot for sharing.
Yes, so I would like to highlight that the barriers really change for women, for men as well in science as you go from one place to another, you know. So since my professional career was for these last 20 years between Europe, Spain in particular, and then Africa, so Ethiopia, South Africa, Uganda, I can say that it was really very, very different when it comes to the barriers. No? So I think working in Spain as a scientist, the main difficulty is really to cope up with keeping the excellence in science and then not affecting the personal life, like private life. But then when I moved to Ethiopia 10 years ago, that was very, very different. So suddenly I found myself being the only female at the whole research center, the only foreigner, the only white person, and the youngest person with a PhD. So it took too many, let's say, barriers that came together, and then at the same time I had to be the one to work on the development of the department and all the program, because I joined a fully new research center in Ethiopia. So that's where all different barriers really came. I realized that working actually in an environment that is single gender based. So in my case, it was working in the male dominant environment, but I think that even if you take it opposite, you know, for men working in female dominant environment is also not easy. And then all these like micro biases, micro discrimination can come even unconsciously, you know. So I went through a lot of that, and then I got quite involved in interacting with women in science, different associations that we have in Ethiopia, and then because I realized that actually many women are in the same situation, working as only females at the departments, research centers, and so on. So we started understanding much more the reasons behind the gender gap in science and so on. So of course, if you go to I think in Europe, one of the fundamental reasons are what you already stressed. When you come to the African continent, lack of support is a huge barrier. The support from the family, because the family will not prioritize that women do their PhD and become scientists. The family will prioritize having children, very often not only one, two children, but more, then it's also very, it's not easy to get support from your partner, and then other barriers that are there as well, related with some that you already mentioned. But the support from the society is really fundamental one. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks a lot. I hope we could build in Ukraine, together with government, with state, and with business and scientific institutions, this ecosystem that could support female scientists and male scientists, but will give this diversity and equality. Well, and my third question, it will be more about inspiration. Like, what would you say to young scientists who are just in the beginning of their career? What could work for them to keep going? Because as we see, there are a lot of women who want to do science, but like they're leaving career very quickly. So what you will advise from your experience? Vira starts. We have equality, you know.
Yeah, thank you. I would split my answer into two different parts. First part, I would say to scientists who are already established, to establish female scientists, and ask them to find a little more time for mentoring young scientists. I know that we're very busy, I know this, but I think this is crucial. This is really, really important, because I've heard so many times that, female scientists, it's difficult to work with them. They're so, and like so on and so forth. And this is simply not true, because it might be a difficult person, but it has nothing to do with the gender of a specific person, right? So I would ask already established scientists, especially female scientists, to mentor young people, to dedicate a little bit of your time to that, and be a little bit more open to that idea, I would say that. And to young scientists, I would say that it's an extremely inspiring and exciting time to be a scientist right now, because the progress of science is so quick. It's every day you find something absolutely incredible that has been done by someone, and you can be there, you can be a part of this. And it's you can also think about science as like, I don't know, like a riddle solving, or like a true crime. I know a lot of women, including myself, love true crime podcasts and all that kind of thing. And so you can really think about science as solving the biggest riddle you can think of, the one that literally might keep you awake at night. And that's kind of job scientists really do. We will find very difficult questions, and then we spend years trying to answer the question. So we're kind of creating problems for ourselves, I guess. But I think believe in yourself. If you unfortunately do not have support, for example, in your environment or your immediate family, it's the world is your oyster, and you can really find someone who can mentor you, or just talk to you. Sometimes just quick conversation could really help. I'm pretty sure a lot of scientists like myself, we're very approachable, and if you write us on social media or whatever, we will reply. Most of people will reply. And so if you don't have a supportive family in terms of science, then find someone who will support you. Trust me, there will be at least one person who will believe in you and will support you. And and if there is no space at the table, bring your own chair. I don't know, create that space. Because if women would not be doing this proactively, no one would just like, please come, become a scientist. That's not how it works. Because some sciences, specifically natural science, in a lot of cases, it's a bit of a boys' club. And you create your own space. You find people who will create that space with you or for you if they're more established. And stay proactive, stay curious, and stay open for possibilities.
Great. Thanks a lot. Katerina.
Can I add? I completely agree with you. I would like to add, at the very beginning of my career, I thought that science is something not for me because I'm not smart enough. And every time I start a new project, I have this feeling, I'm not smart enough. And to be the smartest is not the first thing to do, because you have to keep your curiosity. You have to keep starting your project, keep asking questions, even if they are not so smart. And I'd like to share with you one more point. Real science now is doing in teams. Find your team. Find your friends in science who have the same points of view. And all together, you can do everything and support each other. I invite you to share science life and to enter this life just today. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Miriana.
Yes, thank you. I'm really inspired with all the visions and comments. So I would like to stress a bit. I think science is like any other profession. Maybe here previously we spoke a bit more about barriers. So it's like any other profession. There are barriers, there are parts that, with your daily life you have to go through, learn about it and so on, learn how to manage it. But then there are many beautiful things as well. Those of you who are starting your career in science, I think science can really make us more human. Because currently science, it's really international, it brings all the people together, so you will have a chance to interact with people from all over the world, make international collaborations, work on the same topic, same open question with people from different cultures, traditions, religions, and so on, which really finally, for the day-to-day life and our vision of the world, humanity, and so on, makes us in a certain way more open-minded, more tolerant, and I think that's one of, at least for me, it's one of the most important aspects of the science, that it really helped me to travel around the world, interact with people from all different backgrounds, and understand much better how the humanity works. I think my main message would be that if you are even a little bit interested in science, and you are young and you think about where to go, we really need you. I think the world currently, all the difficulties that the world is facing, where the science is there to really search for the truth. Taking into account the real data. So applying this analytical thinking and, we apply the scientific methodology to the daily life, I think it's fundamental nowadays. We are living in the world where the truth becomes a lie, the lie can easily become a truth through all the media that we are surrounded with. So I think we really need to invest much more in education in science. I think, yes, if you are interested, we really need more people in science. And my main advice would be that every time that you go to the, you find barriers, you find difficulties, don't feel that you are alone with it in that. I mean, we all went through many similar situations, and as it was mentioned already, networking is really important. There are always people around that are there to support, to help, more senior, younger, your colleagues. So ask for help for support, because it's really important. And then all those barriers that are there, in order to overcome them and that in the future we can have better conditions, it really depends on all of us. So I think we shouldn't say, okay, there are barriers, there are problems, so let me go out of it, because you will find them anywhere else as well. The thing is that, realizing what barriers are, we do everything that is possible so that in the future, for the next generations, we can make more better environment, you know. So definitely, you know, each of you is important for that. Thank you.
And they answered, like almost 80% of female scientists answered that this is community. That when they have these thoughts, they have the thoughts very often. I will leave it, it's too hard, we have a lot of barriers. But then the communication with smart, interesting people from day to day, this is the thing that help them stay for years and years in the career and create something huge together. So thanks a lot for participating, and we have like 5 minutes for several questions. Yes, please. Do we have microphone in the... Yeah? I could give mine. I will give mine.
Будь ласка, хто? Ага, біжу.
Hi, thank you for this perfect, very interesting and inspiring discussion. I have a question about age limits in science. What do you think about entering scientific fields in 30s, 40s? Do these young but not young scientists have chances to discover something cool, to create something huge? What do you think about it?
Can I add? You know, at my chemistry department, I have a student who is 57 years old, and she decided to enter scientific career because her children has grown enough and she can completely conduct the science for full time. And, you know, she is happy. I see in her eyes that she is absolutely happy to do science as she dreamt a lot. So the age is not a problem.
Can I add? Yes? Yes, I fully agree. I think the age is not a problem. I mean, the motivation is really important, and then that people, you know, are determined that they have time, possibilities to study and then to enter into the research, do their master, PhD, and so on. I think the problem is the system, because not always the system permits people to get a scholarship after a certain age, get a job position after the certain age, and so on. So it really depends a bit from one country to another. What are the conditions for people that are already in a certain age to enter into the science? So myself personally, I'm in favor to make the systems flexible so that that kind of barrier is not there. Because definitely people can contribute, and as I said previously, we really do need more people in science. Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you. I just want to say that I think now that at least the kind of the mindset is shifting a little bit, and science becomes a little bit more flexible. But so yeah, age is not a problem. The problem is, as you perfectly put it, the system, because you expected to have PhD by a certain age. You are counted as a young scientist only until a certain age, and so on and so forth. And also it very depends whether you want to do like a pure academia research, fundamental science, or whether you want to do a little bit more applicable stuff. So there are a lot of things that, you know, there are a lot of moving parts that can influence that. But overall, age is not a factor anymore. Yeah.
So we can have, one more question.
Дякую. З вашого дозволу задам українською. Не стане для вас таємницею, що школа не дуже сприяє тому, щоб діти йшли в науку, але інститут дуже сильно цьому сприяє. Чи є сенс, якщо дитина подає ознаки науковця, що йому це цікаво, закінчити школу раніше, екстернатом, там, 15-16 років, і перейти в цей дорослий світ науки, я би так це назвала, раніше, якщо умовно дитина і ментально, і фізично готова? Чи все ж таки варто закінчити тих 12 класів чи 11 і в 18 рухатися в вашу сторону. Дякую.
Thanks a lot. I will translate quickly the question. Vira, translate it. No. Yeah, I will translate quickly. Thanks for your question. The question was about school and university. That school don't have such a good environment to go into science, but university motivates a lot. So maybe there are sense to leave school a bit earlier, like when you're 15 or 14, and go into scientific field. Or you can think that like everybody needs to have to finish school, and then after that to go like classically, to go in science, to go to university.
I can answer first. I think there are so many opportunities right now to do some sort of like after school work, right? Like be part of. If we talk about Ukraine, there is this small Academy of Science, MAN, Mala Akademia Nauk. I wrote my first scientific work there, actually, when I was in the 9th grade, and I loved it. I got the taste of what research is and how to work with scientific literature and how to analyze the data and so on and so forth. So I personally think that growing too fast is not always good, and you have the entire life in front of you to be locked in a lab or somewhere. So I personally think that you can do a lot of additional things in addition to school, but the school itself creates the basis, the basis that would be needed for you to comprehend a lot of information, to work with information. Because like Barbara Oakley, who was the speaker before, she created a genius course which is called Learning How to Learn. And like years ago, I was doing that course online, and she explains how to learn properly, how to work with information, what kind of brain parts you need to work with information. So I think you can do, it's a very long answer to your question, but I think that it's better to stay in school and just see what else you can do, because you can do so many other things. You can try to learn how to code, or you can try to do some like real wet lab experience, or like there are so many options right now. Science for Kids from INSCIENCE. They gave an amazing lecture series and experiments that kids could do. And again, Mala Akademia Nauk, Small Academy of Science for Kids, they're doing an amazing stuff. So I would recommend stay in school, but do something on the side to see what is the most interested for you.
I would like to add, of course, everything, it depends. But actually, it's quite important. School is not only for learning, also for your psychological growth, for communication. And for science, communication is pretty important. You have to make up collaborations. You have to deal with different kind of people, and it's quite important to socialize. And you can do your science every time you want. There are a lot of possibilities, really. I have an example of a schoolboy who entered our department late in the evening. He came with a box of some just broken things, and he came and said, "I'd like to recycle those things. Can you help me? And I would like to run a scientific project with that." So you can do everything you dream about, but take your time. Staying in school is nice. You have some friends in schools. And doing your science, that's also important. It depends on your environment. But environment is really, really important.
Well, I think I agree with all that has been said already, yes. So in particular, I think it's important to not leave the school earlier, but to add more extracurriculum activities for the students. And it's mainly because of what I said a little bit previously as well, that science is so important not only to, let's say, awake that passion for doing mathematics or physics. It's actually important for really working on the critical mindset, analytical mindset, critical thinking, how to interpret the information that when we get, and so on. So transmitting a sort of scientific thinking and methodology, and when information comes to us, to not simply accept it as a truth, as valid, but try to think about all different ways, to analyze. I think it's really important. So if we remove, it's a process that I think that the children have to go through from very early age until we die, basically. So I think keeping the science at all possible levels, it's really important for showing us how to think, basically. Yes.
Thank you. And I would like to end with some inspiring statistics. There are researches that show us that when young girls see role models, it is twice likely that they will build a career in science. So I want to thank you for being a role model for the next generation and for leading by example. Thanks a lot. Thank you.